Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, SunshinehazeCo. I am Aja A. For those of y'all that have never seen one of my videos or just tuning in, thanks for stopping by, and thank you for all of my continuous supporters. Excuse me. Whew, it is hot as hell up in these streets. It's hot out here. It is time for a new video. You guys, I'm still getting back on the ball, so I am a couple days behind, but this video is going to be about the Capricorn full moon, which we had on Tuesday. So I'm just going to go on and get started. For those of you guys that don't know what a full moon is or what that has to do with, associate the full moon with the time of release. It's the point in the lunar cycle that signifies that we are ending that particular cycle. I consider it the beginning of the end. So the full moon is associated with illumination. Things are illuminated, gaining clarity, things becoming clear, and also with release. As I said, it's the time of the beginning of the end. This full moon was also on the eclipse axis, so it was a Capricorn partial lunar eclipse, which I'll talk a little bit more about the eclipse energy a little bit later on in the video. And as I said, this was in the sign of Capricorn, which is the moon's opposite sign. The moon is ruled by Cancer, and opposite Cancer is Capricorn. So this particular full moon has a lot of major, intense, very important energy that we're all working with and dealing with here for these next couple of weeks. Excuse me, guys. Thought I was prepared. I tried. Okay. And so for those of you guys that are hip to astrology, you know that Cancer is the sign of the home and emotion. Capricorn is the sign of work and not necessarily dealing with emotions. So this full moon is bringing in balance in regards to the work that we're doing in the physical and in the spiritual, and also balancing out how we're emotionally processing things and how we are emotionally communicating our emotions. I don't know what that means. Oh, with the solar eclipse. I don't know what SE means. I do know what that means. Okay, so this full moon was on Tuesday, July 16th. It happened at 5:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was in 24 degrees, which again, I'll talk about the numerology a little bit later on in the video. For those of you guys that don't know, Capricorn, which I love Capricorns, I'm a rising Cap myself, is the GOAT. Capricorn is associated with association, diligence, like I said, work, business. Capricorn is considered the father of the zodiac. Again, it's opposite Cancer, which is the mother of the zodiac, and stability. And with that father energy, I always like to associate Capricorn with the phrase "getting your shit together." So that is for those of you guys that need a little bit of a refresh on what Capricorn energy is. Those things that I just listed, that is what I think of when I think of Capricorns, or people with a lot of Capricorn placements in their charts. So with this being a full moon, a time of release and clarity, underneath the sign of Capricorn, there are a few types of energies that we're going to be dealing with for the next couple of weeks. For some of us, it may be very strong during the shadow period. For the rest of us, excuse me, that are just ruled by the moon, this is what will be popping up for us in the day-to-day for the next couple of weeks, okay? The first thing I want to talk about is, because it's a full moon and it's on the eclipse, it's going to be this amped up energy of cleansing. And it's going hand in hand with the Cancer, because we are still underneath the Cancer lunar cycle. So it's going hand in hand with the Cancer solar eclipse, which is shedding light on things that we need to do, what makes us feel good. And so with the Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse coming in, the energy that we're dealing with is releasing what is keeping us from living our best lives, keeping us from feeling those feelings of contentment and happiness and peace within ourselves and within our spaces. Also, because Capricorn is the sign of foundation, it's an earth sign, so it deals with, you know, stability. We're also going to be looking at what we need to get rid of, habits that we need to get rid of, moves that we need to stop making, our perspective in regards to our foundations. What is keeping us from building up or even planting the seeds for foundations that we really want to see play out in our lives? And that is going to become clear with the full moon coming in. And because this is on the eclipse axis, this has a lot to do with change and transformation. So these shifts that you're going to be making are really going to have a major effect on your life, okay? For those of y'all that don't have a lot of water in your charts, I have been seeing and I have been hearing that y'all are just lost in the sauce right now. It's like the waves and the currents carried y'all away. So with this Capricorn lunar cycle, this Capricorn lunar energy, this full moon energy coming up, you're going to be coming out of that feeling lost in the sauce, feeling lost at sea type of energy, because we're starting to wrap up this water lunar cycle. With this Capricorn energy coming in, I was talking about releasing the things in the way of our foundation. So what's going to be coming clear to you guys is the things that you need to get organized in order for you to plan out logically, you know, a clear path to your end goals and to success and abundance. That is Capricorn energy too. Capricorn is very much so associated with getting shit done and getting it done in a way that brings about a lot of revenue. And I'm just clear cut. That's what it is. Capricorns are very business-minded people. What else do I got on here? I spoke about that a little bit, but to go a little bit further into it, as I was talking about with that Cancer solar eclipse energy coming in, or that we're working with during this lunar cycle, getting to the space of what makes us feel good in our homes and within ourselves. This Capricorn lunar eclipse is going to help us release these bad habits that are keeping us lethargic, that are keeping us from actually making the moves to get to that point. So the thing is, with the Cancer lunar cycle energy coming up, it's very much so shedding light on the fact that we already know what it is that we want. We know what it is that we need in our lives, right? The Capricorn lunar cycle energy is going to be coming up to say, okay, you know what it is that you want and you need, but why aren't you making moves? What are you doing? What's stopping you from actually doing the work, putting in the energy to get yourself into the space of living your best life, like I like to say, okay? And this full moon is really just because we've got that paternal energy. One, it's kind of lighting the way for us. And then also keep in mind that Saturn is also in Capricorn, and so we're dealing with a lot of restructuring in order to build ourselves upon these foundations that are meant for us, the paths that we're supposed to be on, right? So this dad energy is coming in with that, get your shit together, you know, this is what you need to do, this very paternal energy. So showing us the way to the paths that we need to be on, all right? Excuse me. Also, with this being in the sign of our fathers, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us are either mending relationships with our dads or learning a lot of things about our dads. If you are a dad, really reflecting on or releasing some bad habits within the way that you parent. And also, I just feel like for those of you guys that, you know, your relationship with your dad is cool, I feel like there will be a lot more communication during these next couple of weeks with your dad, or he might be reaching out to you more. It's so funny because I'm just thinking about it's so funny that we got the Capricorn full moon, and my dad is a Leo, so his season is coming up, and my dad has just been like, I'm trying to hang out with you, daughter. I've been calling you, and you never called me back. I'm like, I wonder who I get that from. Would it be you? It would be you, Dad. But his season is coming up, and then we have this Capricorn full moon right before my dad's season. So I can just imagine he's going to be lit for like the next month and a half. Okay, yeah, so Capricorn is a cardinal sign. It is the cardinal sign of the winter. So this full moon, and especially with all this change and transformation coming in with this eclipse, is really coming in to show us habits and moves, like I said, moves that we're making that we really need to stop. Winter is associated with things dying out, with endings and release as well. So this being cardinal, the cardinal winter sign, also dealing with that cardinal summer sign of Cancer, where we need to make moves, or we need to start getting shit popping. We are definitely going to be dealing with, like I said, really seeing habits that we no longer need to be partaking in, definitely seeing situations and connections that we have to people that are just no longer serving us, and really coming into a space to where we feel like we are comfortable enough and where we're ready to, you know, cut the cords or cleanse the cords and move forward into our next chapters. But in order for us to step forward, we have to figure some shit out. Again, Capricorn is the get your shit together sign. So this is what these next couple of weeks are for. This is an Earth moon. So although we are underneath the Cancer lunar cycle, as I said a little bit earlier, we're getting into the point to where we're going to stop feeling like we're lost in the sauce and submerged underneath all this water. Not necessarily myself, because I am a Cancer sun and moon. But for the rest of you guys that don't have all that water in your chart, we're coming up on the time where, okay, you're going to start feeling like you're climbing up to shore, you're almost on land, all right? But with that being said, although this is an Earth moon, and Earth is not a sign that is necessarily associated with emotions, because we are underneath the Cancer lunar cycle, there may be these instances where you're not necessarily understanding your emotions, or you're not effectively communicating your emotions in regards to the situations that you have to deal with or the people that you are talking to, okay? On the shadow side, I guess I have to talk about the shadow side of Capricorns. Capricorns can just, I'm just be straight up, we can be very rude, people with Capricorn placements are very blunt and very straight and to the point. So a lot of people don't take too kindly to that. So they look at Capricorns like they're rude, but also in the same sense, Capricorns can be very rude. I have been told so myself. Also, Caps can get into a very pessimistic headspace. And they can also become very lazy, a little lethargic, especially when they're comfortable, and they are very stubborn in regards to what they have their sights set on. So during this lunar cycle, especially with all this change and transformation coming in, you guys have to be very mindful of the fact that the things that are coming in for you to change actually need to be changed. So you cannot be stuck in that stubborn goat way of, no, I'm comfortable here, so I don't want to do that, so you can just keep that over there. No, if it's coming up for you to change, it's time for you to change. And understand that with the eclipse, any change coming in for you, and especially if you're like, oh, that's different, guess what? You got to do something different for shit to be different. That's all there is to it. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the eclipse energy. This was a lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse. We are still dealing with what is phasing out for us. The energy is still going strong, and it'll be very strong for the next few weeks. And then you'll see the things that it has touched, the things that it's affecting, play out over the next like half a year. So for those of you guys, as I was saying, things phasing out, a lunar eclipse, when it comes to energy, eclipses are all about change. They're all about transformation. They're all about things shifting in your energy and in your physical. When we are dealing with the lunar eclipse, it's like an amplified full moon. So it's what is phasing out for you, what are you walking away from, what is your energy ascending from, what are you progressing towards, what are you leaving behind, what do you no longer need to be attached to, what no longer serves you. So with this being in Capricorn, what we are moving away from are the blockages to the success that we have envisioned for ourselves. So for those of you guys, especially for those of y'all with these Cancer and Capricorn placements for the past couple of years that have been feeling kind of stuck, kind of in the same spot, or kind of going in a circle, this is definitely going to be a time where you start to see what's been holding you back, whether it be your own habits, whether it be things around you, whether it be certain people, and you're going to start to realize, okay, I have to let go of this, I have to get out of this, I have to stop doing this in order for me to be in this space. This is what I need to release, this is what I need to let go, this is what I need to move on from, okay? If you think back to the beginning of the year, we had a Capricorn, I believe, solar eclipse, and that was kind of shedding a little bit of light on what was phasing in for you. So if you think back to that time, think about what was starting to come up, and during this time, you're going to start to see what you need to start doing in order for you to clear out whatever space is needed, whatever energy is needed for you to actually start doing those things that were popping up for you at the beginning of the year, okay? Excuse me. All right, next let's go a little bit into the numerology. This moon fell in 24 degrees. 2 is the number associated with peace, with balance, with harmony. 4 is associated with the start of foundations and bringing things together and planning for success. So with this Capricorn lunar energy, it's in this full moon, it's like, okay, we see, like I was talking about earlier with that Cancer solar energy, solar eclipse, and we are still in the Cancer solar cycle, with that energy coming in of what does our best life look and feel like. Right now we're going to be in a space to where we're like, okay, this is the harmony, this is the balance, this is the peace what needs to be released in order for me to tap into that, right? And then 24 breaks down into 6, which if you are into numerology, you know that 6 is considered a perfect number. So again, talking even more so about harmony and balance and peace on an even wider scale. Excuse me. This time, and because I think it's just very much so amplified because it's an eclipse and it's all about change and transformation. So what's most important for us is to really be paying attention to what we just do not vibe with anymore. That is the most important thing during these next couple of weeks. And when you're feeling like, okay, I don't resonate with that anymore, you need to give a little bit of thought as to why, and give a little bit of thought of how you can start to move away from this, or start to stop doing this, or, you know, cut yourself off from this particular energy or from this particular person or whatever it may be. All right. This moon fell on an 8-day. 8 is the number of cycles. It's the number of karma. It's the number of infinity. So the moon being an eclipse falling on an 8-day just means that shit is really starting to come together. I don't know if this was in the Cancer video or one of the tarot videos where I was talking about puzzle pieces. Us being in these spaces to where we have all the pieces to our puzzle, but we're not putting them together correctly. So right now, what we're coming into, especially with this moon falling on an 8-day, it's like, okay, all of a sudden the puzzle pieces look completely clear to us, and we know how to turn them so that they fit together. And then we're going to start to see the changes in our life start to play out. Okay. New chapters coming in for real, but in order to get into a new chapter, you have to close out the last one, you know? So yeah, a lot of old shit phasing out, and most important thing is to not be in Capricorn goat energy and be stubborn and fight it. What is important is that it's time to live out what we feel makes us happy. So especially because we're underneath the Cancer lunar cycle energy, and we just had a solar eclipse in Cancer, it's so important to be paying attention to what makes your heart beat. I say that, and I have on a heart chakra necklace. This is actually a Capricorn stone. This is a green tourmalated quartz, and I also have on, I actually have on a whole bunch of Capricorn stones. I did not mean to do that, so perfect. I've got Unakite in here. I've got, I don't know what else is in here. I think I've got moss agate. I think there's jade in here, green jade. And I forget, I have this written down somewhere. I made this, I should know what's in this bracelet. But anyways, time to start looking at what's keeping us from living our best lives, and then start making moves towards living our best lives, okay? People that are going to be the most affected by this moon are people with their sun, moon, or rising in Capricorn or in 24 degrees or 6 or 7 degrees either side of that. Also, if you've got a lot of Capricorn placements in your chart, if you've got a lot of earth in your chart, if you've got a lot of cardinal energy in your chart, you can expect, or got a lot of 24 degrees or close placements in your chart, you can definitely expect to feel this energy on a more grandiose level. What else? That's it. That's all I want to tell you guys about this Capricorn lunar cycle. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. This Capricorn full moon and lunar eclipse. If you got any questions or comments, drop them down below. Check out the Cancer lunar cycle video for some more insight on what's going on over this month, and also check out your Cancer lunar cycle tarot forecast as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, I am having an eclipse reading sale. I'm also having Mercury retrograde reading sale. So if you're interested in getting your cards read, check out my Etsy and go on and book one of those. I do energy readings on the eclipse and how it's affecting you, what change and transformation it's bringing in, and then also retrograde readings for whatever planet you're interested in seeing what that planet's energy is affecting. I can do a retrograde reading for that, okay? All right, that is it for real, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will see y'all next time. Peace.